I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Street Fighter in the 90s went through a phase of thinking it was much bigger than, well, it actually was, by releasing a blockbuster movie flop, Street Fighter That's So Bad It's Funny, the movie. And of course it's the 90s, so it needs to have a tie-in video game. Street Fighter, the game that was based on the movie based on the game, I'm just going to call it Street Fighter M from this point forward, was unfortunately the first Street Fighter game on PlayStation. Oh boy. So, as you can tell, it's your typical 90s fighting game which wanted to jump on the digital sprites bandwagon that Mortal Kombat started. So prepare yourselves for lackluster effort in animations and top that off with some awful sounds and dialogue from our supposed Street Fighters. The graphics make no sense. Street Fighter II had some really nice sprites and animations, interesting backgrounds and bright colours. Well, why not just stick with that? Oh, because it has to tie in with the film, so whilst we have the new Sony console to play around with, we're instead going to go backwards and make our game look worse. Much worse. The gameplay consists of decent controls as far as fighting games go, and this is due to the game using the same engine as Street Fighter II Turbo, but even then, it's a poor version of it and should have been capable of much more on the increased power that the then new Sony PlayStation had to offer. The game also suffers from some low frame rates and pathetic voices for the characters and announcer. And while there's a nice selection of 15 fighters to choose from, many have different movesets or barely resemble their previous incarnations.
I'm sorry. I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Outside of the traditional fighting game modes, there's a pretty interesting campaign mode in which you play exclusively as Jean-Claude Van Damme, Guile. The story mode follows the plot of the film and has text boxes which could have done with some voice acting, as it's clear they're speaking but nothing's coming out.
Yeah! You're off the air. Warning. You're off the air.
Overall, Street Fighter M is a lazy excuse of a Street Fighter game on PlayStation. The characters barely resemble their previous incarnations, the combat has been devolved, the animations are stiff and choppy, you've got long load times, the modes are your generic stuff, and the new campaign adds nothing to the overall experience. Street Fighter M gets a final score from me of a 37%. And until next time when we cover more fighting games and of course Street Fighter, I'll see you then. Adios.
Yeah.